It's the Vupointz. It's the Vupointz. Welcome everybody to the show. Yes, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's Wednesday at 7 p.m. So you know what that means. We say knowledge is power. So if you're tuning in, do not forget to like and subscribe to Vupointz on all networks and all channels. And big up everybody that's tuning in likewise. My name is John Wiggs, and normally I'd be here alongside my co-host Brooklyn and JADA Man, but they got some other business to take care of. So I'll be handling the Vupointz all by myself today. But it's all right, because today's topic is a topic that I love. Today's topic is a topic that's straight down my lane. What am I talking about? We're talking about respect to the man them. Yes, you heard me right. I'm saying respect to the man them. It's Father's Day week, and often, way too often, the man them, the fellas are left out of the mix. Mother's Day is so great. We're always bigging up the kids. But nobody ever takes time to big up the daddies them. But guess what? We're taking care of that today. Again, my name is John Wiggs. Big up everybody that's tuning in on YouTube. Big up everybody that's tuning in on Twitch. Big up everybody that's tuning in on Facebook. And big up everybody that's tuning in on Instagram. My name is John Wiggs, and it's the weekly session. And you know what we say? We say knowledge is power. We have a great show lined up for you today. Let me reintroduce the topic for everybody. Respect to the man them. What makes you so strong? So we have two great guests on the panel today. We're going to be speaking with Damien Blackman of JADA Inc. He's also a business coach and motivational speaker. And we also have Superfresh of Superfresh Sound, a veteran in the business. And he's going to give us his take on, fatherhood and what fatherhood means to him. And we're going to get into it. But you know how it goes. Before we get into the segments, before we get into the guest, normally JADA Man would be here dropping his vibe of the week. But like I said, JADA Man's out of action tonight. So I'm going to jump in with my take on the vibe of the week. And it's Father's Day week. So I had to dig into the Black Magic selection and try to find something that I found that was fitting for this episode. So before I play that, I also want to take a second and big up Scarface, big up Father Derek, big up Bad Boy Kurt, Robbie Killer, Mixie, Jamie, DJ Alex, and the whole Black Magic squad. You want to know why? Because those guys take their time and they work hard with the music, they work hard with their jobs, and they work hard and take care of their family. So we take our time and we show respect to the man them, right? So I don't want to waste too much time because we got guests in the lobby. So I'm going to drop it just like this. This is my take on Vibe of the Week. Now, listen to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics.
Yes, people. Like I said, it's all about the fathers this week. It's all about the man them. It's Father's Day week. So we have to take our time and respect and give what they say. Give the man them their flowers while they're still here. So that song was a song by Jamil. It was in a dubplate style for the sound that I play called Black Magic. But if you can also go check the YouTube and you can listen to that song. Lyrically, it's a great song. There's not too much songs out there that big up the fathers either. There's a good amount, but they're few and far between. So when you find good music, you have to promote the good music. So big up Jamil on that track. Lyrically, people, I want you guys to go check it out because we always say it's music with meaning and it's knowledge is power. So lyrically, that's a great song. Big up the dads, big up all the man them, big up the brothers, big up the uncles, big up the grandpas, big up the sons, big up the cousins. Respect to the man them. I see so much of the man them that are out there doing hard work in this pandemic. So much people have had to leverage their work, leverage their life, leverage their lifestyle, and even take time and mend their relationships. Right. So we, like we said, we want big up the man them and give respect where respect is due. Right. So enough of the vibe of the week for today. The next thing we want to get into, because you know I got to do my thing, right? So let me drop it properly. Again, people, I don't need to reintroduce myself because you already know what it is. But my name is Ja Wiggs, and you can check out the visuals because it's fine tune your biz, right? So in line with today's topic, since we're bigging up the mandem, I consider myself one of the mandem as well. I'm one of those fathers that work hard and do what I got to do to take care of my family. So often people say to me, Ja Wiggs, how do you manage all this stuff that you do? How do you manage working? How do you manage promoting? How do you manage playing music? How do you manage time for yourself? Right? And trust me, it's something you gotta take time and figure out what's best for yourself. But I went online and I decided to compile a quick 12 tips, sorry, on ways that in general you can manage your work and family life. And like I said, these may not be specific to you. Some may apply to you and some may not, but you got to take the time and figure out what works best for yourself, right? The first thing you got to do, and these are in no particular order, is set priorities. Whatever your priorities are, if you got to make a list, if you got to make put a calendar, if you got to do a vision board, set priorities. In line with setting priorities, you got to plan and do things in advance. If you can write things down and get tasks done early and on time, trust me, your life will flow a lot easier. If you're working and you're home, if you're not working from home and you're working away from home or at an office, if you have the ability to, you should try to negotiate flex hours or part-time hours if possible. Yes, you may want to sit at work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, racking in the dough, but you got to remember it's called work-life balance for a reason. So negotiate flex hours. Flex hours could mean you're working a couple hours in the morning, then you're off, and then you work a couple hours in the day. A lot of time, if you're working from home nowadays, those are easy to get and they work great with different lifestyles. Um, Find a number two and a number three person with your job task. Um, as an entrepreneur, a lot of people get caught up trying to take care of everything by themselves. But when you're trying to balance work and home, sometimes you got to find people that can ease that stress. So again, find a number two or a number three person that you can rely on. Now, another thing that people overlook is to share with your family. And I'm not talking about share the workload, but share how you're feeling, share your experiences, share how your day is going with your family. When your family is aware of what's going on at work and how you're trying to balance life, they will also do their best to help you ease the stress, right? Another thing that you can also try to do is limit after work and after school involvements. Now, I'm not saying we gotta, cancel the sports or cancel the tutoring, but try to limit things that are unnecessary. um, Build rituals into your life. Somebody close to me always said you got to get yourself on a schedule. Once you have yourself on a schedule, it becomes a ritual. And once you're doing something by habit instead of trying to force yourself to do it, things get done easier. Another thing you got to do, a most important thing you got to do, is take time for yourself. Whether it's a couple hours a day, whether it's different periods of the day, whether it's sitting by yourself, going for a long walk, make sure you take time for yourself. Now, in addition to taking time for yourself, you also got to make time for couple time, because you got your significant other there that's there managing the other part of what you're doing, the other family life when you're not there working. So you got to make time for couple time. Like I said earlier, share your experiences with your children. If you had a good day, if you had a hard day, let them know the benefits of working hard and the fruits of the labor. Again, find time for fun. In addition to just finding relaxing time for yourself, find time for fun. Find something you enjoy doing. If it's sports, if it's reading a book, if it's going out to a club, if it's going out hanging out with your friends, find time for fun. The most important thing you got to remember to do with managing your work and your family life balance is to make time and be there for the moments. There are times in life, there are moments in life that will happen once, experiences that will happen once, and they'll never happen again. So don't miss those moments in life, right? So again, people, that was a quick 12 tips on how to manage your work and family life, right? So we have some guests in the lobby. They've been patient. I don't want to take too much time away from the show because I would love to hear what these fellas have to say. And like I said, I'm on the internet. I'm on the road, so I see what's going on out there. Now, I'm not saying I know everything that's going on there, but when I was looking for guests for the show, I chose these two fellas because based on what I see, it looks like these two fellas work hard. It looks like these guys do what they got to do to take care of their family. It looks like these guys take time to have fun for themselves, and the people want to know how they do it. What makes you guys so strong? Blackman, what makes you so strong? Right? So I want to bring on the guest, and before I bring on the guest, I want to bring on a video just to give you guys a little feeling of the guest. And if you're tuning in, remember to like and subscribe to Viewpoints on all networks. We are here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. My name is Ja Wiggs. Normally, we would have my co-hosts Brooklyn and Jada Man, but they have to take care of some other business on the road, so I'm handling the business. But don't worry, like I said, we got some guests, so we ain't gonna miss the happenings.
Fresh up off the stage, on my way to B of A. A and B, we LA, tryna eat, we the way. Staring in the space.
Now I know y'all sitting there wondering why is this guy there standing on a truck? Why is Wig showing me this guy standing on a truck in shorts? Get rich or die trucking. So the pieces are starting to fit together. You see a guy standing on a truck posing beside a fancy car. Then you see an ad, get fit or die trucking, right? I don't want to say too much. I'm going to bring on the first guest. Before I do so, I want to big up the people that are tuning in early. I see Sylvia Life tuning in on the IG. I see Gem372. I see whoever is tuning in on the Twitch, the Facebook crew, and the Instagram and the YouTube crew. Big up yourself. Put something in the comments so I could see you here. And people, if you're tuning in, I want you guys to post something. Post a memory of your dad. Something about your dad that you remember. Something that always stuck out about you, and we'll read them live. We'll read some answers live later. Now, the first guest I want to bring on, this gentleman, I've known this man for, I want to say maybe 15, 20 years or so. Maybe not that long. It's definitely between 10 and 20 years, between around 15 years or so. But his name's Damien Blackman, also known as many other names, but I'll let him tell the story. Damien, are you with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
What's up, Damien? Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Now, people, Damien, his current endeavor, he is the CEO and owner of JADA Inc., which is a trucking company in Toronto and Durham. And he's also a business coach assisting a number of businesses. I know he's also an entrepreneur. So hopefully he tells you about some of the other side businesses that he has going on at some of the different locations out in the East End. Damien, can you please introduce yourself and tell them a little about yourself, please?
I'm Damien Blackman, an entrepreneur from the city, born in Barbados, and I'm here teaching other Black men and women, but mostly Black folks from my community, the low-income communities, how to get rich or die trucking. So we show you how to make money in trucking, own your own business, and just create some generational wealth while getting fly and staying fly at the same time, changing the rules.
All right, thank you for that. Now, if you've for the people that know you and have tuned into your social media, they know you're a man that doesn't hide your story and your journey. So if you can maybe give the viewers a quick rundown of your path and how you got to where you are.
So, as with many other young Black males in our situation, grew up in the what you call the hood. We got in trouble at a young age, and finally, after getting in a lot of trouble, I was sentenced to 3.5 years, did 2.5 in jail, and decided to change my life after that, because there was no way that I'm 30-something in jail and I'm going to come home and waste you. So I decided to change my life around, and I created a plan while I was incarcerated that I would come home and just change the trajectory of my life and the legacy of my family. And that's exactly what I did. So, yeah. Basically.
All right, well, definitely, and again, like I said, the purpose of today's episode is to big up the man them. So like I said, I've known you since you were running around, running the streets, and and doing the do. So yeah. and I also seen the progress and the progression, and I also see how you've taken what you're doing and bringing it on and helping, like you said, you're helping other Black men and helping other people in the industry doing that as well. So what motivated you to take that extra step? Because you could have just sat there and enjoyed the fruits of your labor, but what gave you that extra motivation to help other people?
Well, a few things. I've always been a giver, right? So I'm a believer in the Most High Yahweh. So I knew that even though I was doing all my dirt, that I have to answer to him at some point. You just have to, right? Whether you believe it or not, you're gonna have to. We all have to take accountability for our sins and our actions on that day. And after being incarcerated, I had lots of time to just reflect on my life, my past, how I got here, the types of things I did, the crowd I was running with, just the mentality that I had. And while I was sitting there, I'm like, I can't waste my life. I have too much potential. I can't waste my life. I can't waste my life. I can't waste my life. Because sitting in jail, you see the hopeless, and you see how much potential is being wasted, how much potential is behind bars, how much potential goes to the graveyard, right? And I just could not do that. And then realizing that I have children that were looking up to me, I needed to break that cycle. And that's exactly what I did. So making sure that I came home to be a role model for them and someone that they could be proud of, that was my first and major motivation, right? My reason, my why was them, because I like a certain lifestyle, and I believe that I'm called to do big and great things. And I had to make sure I left some wealth for them, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually. I had to show them the way how to go, because once I leave this earth, I'm going to leave them behind. They have to carry on the torch. So with me learning how to become a better man, a better father, that in turn turned into, okay, now people are looking at what I'm doing because I placed it out there. I wasn't even aware of the impact that I was making on people's lives until I started getting DMs and messages and requests for interviews and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, my life is really helping people.
It's helping people.
Right. And once I found that out, I was like, oh, this is my calling. I got you, guy. Let me go ahead and do that. And that's exactly what I did. Just started to run with it. But I wanted to do it my way. Right. I wanted to put a flair on it, because when you're speaking to the youth, I like myself, for example, when I was younger, I didn't want to hear no old head who wasn't a part of my lifestyle or was either currently or prior in my lifestyle, because I have no trust. You don't understand me. So I make sure that was one of my methods to be able to relate to the youngsters coming up, that they could see somebody that looks like them, went through the same thing they went through, lived the same places they were, ran the same blocks they ran, and decided to change their life and is doing something positive in the same gutter that the world and society kept us in, tried to keep us in. And that was that was it. I decided to do that and not looking back.
Well, respect to that. Respect to that.
Mm.
Now, so everybody knows kind of how you got here, right?
Right.
Now, when typically when we hear about trucking, right?
Mhm.
We normally have this vision, you know,
An
of
old white man with a big belly. Yes. You know,
I didn't even
I'll
have
say
to
it
say
for
it.
you if you
I
can't
didn't even
say
have
it.
to say it.
Right.
So in the trucking industry, I've noticed you're dealing with a lot of younger people, a lot of African American people, and I've noticed even in your videos, there's a lot of younger, you know, white people and other people as well. So has the look of trucking changed?
Yes, it has, and I'm changing it. Right. I would like to say that I'm responsible for a minuscule part of that, because people go to work in just like a regular uniform or just regular steel toes, but I'm here showing you that you could be comfortable and still look presentable. I mean, I'd go there with your pants sagging and still presentable, but make it fly, make it comfortable. That way you want to be in the truck. You want to go to work. You want to go do this, because I know the mentality in certain neighborhoods is like, yeah, I'm not going to go do that. That's not cool. You have to make it look cool.
Exactly.
As much as crazy as it sounds.
Especially for today's generation.
Yeah, you got to make it look cool. And this is not fabricated. This is really what it is. This is my lifestyle. I like to get fly and go. But they're seeing that and they're like, oh, I can actually do that. I can go bump my music in my truck. I can make my truck shiny. I could go make a couple $100,000 for the year. Let me go ahead and try that. So yeah, the face of trucking is changing, right? Even to my partners down in the States, like, we're doing it different, right? We're showing, because we are the culture. All right, let's get that out the way now. We are the culture, and everything that we do, we're the culture. We set the standards for everything, for music, for fashion, for business, everything, right? So we don't want to go
That's
and
facts.
follow. I don't think we should go follow the blueprint that they have set or other races have set. That's not us. They follow us anyway, right? So let's go ahead on and make it do what it do. As long as we conduct business in a professional manner, and you still have the fundamentals, and you can wear what you want. We're changing the face of trucking because we want to take over this thing, right? We want to be able to have, my goal is to have the blacks as majority shareholders or market holders.
I like that. I like that.
So, and that's how we get it. We got to reach the young generation, because the young generation is wilding, just like we were wilding, right? So I want to make sure I could do my part in saving them.
All right. So you said the face of trucking is changing, right? So and we're trying to you're doing your best to try to reach the younger generation, right? So we want the viewers who are tuning in, we want them to know a little more about Damien. So I got a couple questions I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna throw it back here. Now the first thing, actually, before I throw it back, I know you're a father. You're a father of how many children?
Two.
All right, congratulations. How old are your children?
15 and 13.
All right. Okay. So first thing I want to know is, or the viewers want to know, is what's the first album or CD that you ever bought?
Lil Wayne, The Block Is Hot.
What did you love to do in high school?
Skip it. My mother will always tell us, so if you listen to my mom right now, she would tell you, I used to drop Damien off at the front of the school, and he would walk straight to the back, to the hallway, to the back door. And then one day she caught on. She's like, why is this kid like, what? I'm getting calls, he's not in school. So one day she dropped me off at the front, and by the time I walked to the back, she was parked out the back with a belt at the back door. And I'm like, oh, this just got real. So yeah, I did that. Yeah.
All right. So were you ever on any teams or play any sports?
Yeah, basketball. I will cook somebody out here right now. Even the youngins. Anybody want smoke? I still got it. Wiggs, you know this.
People, I can attest. he's sick with it. He's sick with it. People used to travel to come up to the North Oshawa to try to battle him. I can attest to it.
And get cooked. Facts.
And let me add the and get cooked. Cooked.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, what do you remember most about being a teenager?
Well, it was good and bad times. So I remember mostly I remember dreaming. I remember always wanting to, I knew that I'm going to be something. And I would always dream I wanted to be something. I have to be successful. I have to have some type of money. I have to be successful. That was I remember dreaming. I remember dreaming. Out of all the things that I remember dreaming, even when I was doing dirt, I remember being a dreamer. I was always a dreamer. But I knew that it was more than just dreaming. You have to go and put the work in as well. But yeah, I'm a dreamer.
All right. Well, I like that. They say if you don't dream, well, they say some of the biggest successes start off as dreams.
Right.
So that's good as well. So, you know, in our lifetime, there's been a couple world events. Now, what world events have had the most impact on you?
Impact on me. I don't let world events impact me, you know. To be honest, I really don't, because I was explaining to a white friend the other day, I think like maybe last month. And I said, because the way we grew up and in like low income neighborhoods, so in 08, they were affected by, people with money were affected by the housing
Recession.
crash,
Yeah.
recession, right? And then now it's like pandemic, right? Well, we've been living in a recession damn near all my life, so we're kind of like used to that, right? So pandemics don't really bother me, or recessions don't really, because we've been living, that's the norm, and it shouldn't be, but the norm is that's our recession. So we've been fighting against a recession since our inception and trying to make it out. So it's become normal. So I don't really have other than that, I wouldn't say it's a world tragedy, but me going to jail, that was huge for me.
That would be a world event for you. Definitely.
Yeah, my whole world.
You know what I mean?
Because I was always the one to get away. God was looking. I used to think it was me, but looking back, it was God's hand, right? And I would always get away. I would either get arrested and no evidence, or get bail, or charges dropped, something like that. And I would always do that. So I guess I ran with that arrogance, right? And yeah, finally he was like, "Nah,
yeah,
this is it."
All right.
That shook me up.
That's fair enough. Now, people, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Damien Blackman, the CEO and owner of JADA Inc. He gave us a little about his story earlier, and we're just asking him some general questions, just so the viewers can get an understanding of what a trucker in 2021, what his life has been like. Now, JADA, what I want to ask you, Damien, what I want to ask you is there anything that you wish you had asked your parents for but haven't when you were a kid?
How to manage money.
I like that because I was thinking something tangible, but that's probably a way better answer than anything I was thinking.
Because anything I needed, I went and got. If my mother couldn't afford it at some point, I went and got it anyway, right? So
that's facts.
It wasn't nothing that I was asking that I didn't get tangible, but there were certain lessons, and not just myself, but many in our Black community, we don't have any financial literacy conversations about how to handle money and manage money. And we grew up mismanaging it.
All right. So, well, with that being said, let me ask you a question then. For the viewers and for the children, or for the younger viewers that might be tuning in, what advice do you have about what to focus on in our careers or in their careers?
Well, before we get to our career, I say like this. I listened to this speaker named Jim Rohn. He's passed on now. He's a motivational speaker. And one of his things is always be better, work harder on yourself than you do at your job, right? So I would start with getting rid of our childhood traumas, right? We in the hood have lots of PTSD and lots of trauma and past trauma experiences, right? That we may not know that's affecting us to this day, right? I'm in therapy now. I go to therapy, so I know how it's helped and assisted in everyday life, right? So I would tell the youngsters and even the old ones trying to start over, start with working on yourself first, right? Because you literally it's the laws of attraction. You can manifest whatever inside of your mind's eye, right? So if you become more focused, if your spirit is more clear, then you can manifest everything, as everything else becomes easy, because we're living in it's like a spiritual warfare, right? And we're trying to fight a spiritual battle using physical and tangible tools, and it's not going to work, right? So we can't get rid of it by drinking or fornication and partying all the time. We have to go inside and do the inner work, get your mind right. And once you get your mind right, then you get your body right. Then you get the body right, then you get your money right, because then you can go have your business. And then after that, holla at me.
All right, so let me ask you this then. What makes Damien Blackman successful at work?
Because I'm doing what I love. That's success. I'm doing what I love, right? So many people, that's subjective, right? But I believe an objective view of success is doing what you love, because I believe social media and like entertainment itself has kind of skewered the definition of success. So you see the yachts, you see the boats, the private planes, and the millions of dollars in the jewelry. You think that's success, but that's not success, because the person down the block who owns a shawarma shop, or like my guys down in Warren up in Pickering, Ajax, there with the all-in-one convenience store, that he's successful, right? Because he's doing what he loves. He's owning his business craft. You don't have to necessarily make millions of dollars to be successful, because you can make $2 million a year, but have $1.9 million in expenses, right? And then you can have a person making $100,000 a year and only have $20,000 in expenses. You know what I mean? Or 200,000 and have, you know what I mean? $20,000 in expenses. The person who is spending less has more money, essentially. So he's more successful, and he could go do what he wants. So as long as you could do what you love on your terms, it's not going to be easy, but that's success, because I could sleep well at night knowing that I've chosen my path, my career. And doing this, I can't get arrested for this. I'm not looking at my rearview mirrors or my side mirrors, right? Those are my kids right there. Like, I'm not at risk of them losing me anymore, right? Because I remember speaking to my daughter when I was released, and she said, "I love you." I was like, "I love you." You know, I always say the cliche stuff. She's like, "No, but I love you more." I'm like, "No, I love you more." But I remember sitting at home one night, and I was having a conversation with myself, and I believe I was hearing from the Most High as well, and I heard, "She's right. She loves you more than you love her." And I was like, "What?"
You're like, wait a minute.
Right. You know what I mean? And it was true, because when you go inside now, you could hold yourself accountable and do that self-reflecting, self-searching. You realize, had I really loved them, I would never have placed myself in the position to leave them.
Respect to that, definitely.
You hear everybody, all the dope boys be like, "I'm doing this for my kids, getting bands for my family." But we're really not. I mean, yes, they're maybe taking care of it. How really many people are really taking that money it's really
for their family, yeah, and putting it
family.
aside for their family.
Right.
You're right. Everybody they'll keep flipping it and saying, you know, at the end of the flip is going to the family, but
Right.
the flip never stops.
Because we see you in the club. I'm in the club every weekend with you. You're out here on the block every week. So it's not really the family's getting it, but that's not the main motivating factor, right? So had we truly loved our children, we wouldn't be in prison for years, taken away from their childhood and their being able to raise them and influence them in a positive way by having you around. You know what I mean? So at that point, definitely. By actions, yeah, they love me more than I had loved them.
All right, so let me ask you this then. Tell me how would people say you're most similar to your dad, and how would they say you're most different?
Well, that's a great question, because I met my father when I was 18 years old, and he died when I was 20, right? So
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, he lived in New York, you know what I mean, all his life, Brooklyn guy. And so when my mother and my family said we hustle, like I have that. My pops was a hustler, like owned his business, and before that he was on the streets and everything like that. So I'm very, very, when it comes to the grind and hustling and getting what we have to get, I got that from my pops, definitely. And the negative thing you would say about my pops that I'm like, or it's like I love gal too much. No, and
I mean, I guess
respectfully,
depending on who you ask, that might be a positive or a negative,
right?
right?
Respectfully. I'm not disrespectful or anything like that, but I like, I'm like never like a too much of a flirt, you would say. But yeah, he like gal.
All right, so I have two more questions for you here.
Okay.
So, what would your kids say is the best thing their dad ever cooked?
Um,
And I
grilled.
know them, so I'm gonna find out. So don't
I'll
just make
say,
up something. I'm gonna find out.
grilled honey gay salmon with shrimp Alfredo.
So was that a one-time thing, or is that your specialty?
That's not a specialty because I could cook. I could definitely cook. But that's what they like. I like salmon and fish because I try to stay away from the mammals, right? So yeah, but and my daughter would say breakfast. My breakfast is amazing because it's not just the
Breakfast?
regular eggs and French toast and all them things. There, it's the presentation, it's how it's done, it's the type of cheese, how it's paired, and like yeah. So my daughter would say my breakfast because it's on point. Yeah.
Breakfast. All right. So I'm actually gonna ask you two more questions before we bring on Prophet,
Yeah.
right? What has been your favorite? What is or has been your favorite age so far?
Favorite age? Right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Right now.
All right.
And I say that only because I've had knowledge of self. So instead of living in the past, where you are, there you are. The best time to be is right now. Because if I'm living in the past, let's say the past is better, that's a slap in the Most High face because he's saying, oh, you would rather be back there. But look
Yeah.
what you have right now. I'm alive. I'm having conversations with you. My life is going well, right? There's still ups and downs. Nothing's perfect, but I'm learning. I'm glad for what I've learned all these years because many people don't get to make it to this age, bro. I know I have friends personally that didn't make it to today. They left us 10, 15 years ago. I mean,
Definitely.
last year, 2 years ago, I lost dear friends while I was incarcerated. So I would have to say the present right now is my best time to be alive. That's a fact.
All right. And final question: what do you think the world needs more of right now?
Me. Honestly, there's a few things. We need more love, right? We need more love, we need more understanding, and we need more Black entrepreneurs, right? Because we can't be consumers, right? We have a 1.3 or 1.5 trillion dollar spending power, but we are like the largest consumers, right? So then we wonder why we don't have money and our communities is so messed up is because we spend more than we produce. So we have to turn as Black people now to be more producers than consumers. So I say we need to balance out that scale and become more entrepreneurs. And you don't have to run these multi-billion-dollar corporations. That doesn't have to be your aim because a corner store is needed. A gas station is just important because I can't have my trucks running without fuel, right? We can't have food without the grocery store, right? Our clothes need cleaning. A laundromat is needed, right? All these things. So it doesn't have to be big, but as long as we're contributing and have our own infrastructure where we have our own code and circle, then I think that we're in a great position. And just try to trust each other. We always have this negative connotation or cliche that can't do business with Black people, and that's false because your words are powerful. So if you continue to say that, then that's going to be manifested, and that's what has happened. It's been manifested, right? We got to cut that out and just show more love and just teach each other, man. We got to get back to being us, realizing that we're the kings and queens of this thing, and just do what it do.
Well, definitely. Well, Damien, I love those words there, and I love all the advice you've given to all the to the younger generation. And thank you for joining the panel and telling your story. Can you let the people know, because I know you do business coaching and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So can you let the people know what Damien has coming up next, where they could find Damien, and if you have any final words for the viewers?
So right now I'm working on a new revised trucking a trucking course that teaches you how to become an entrepreneur in the trucking, the ins and outs, the pros and cons, the how to set up your organization, how to get paid, find contracts, all of the above, and that'll be finished within the next couple of weeks to a month. There's one currently out right now called Drip, Dump Truck Revenue Investment Plan, and that can be found at my website at getrichordietrucking.ca. Right, and if you want a consultation, you can go and click on the link as well. Everything's at getrichordietrucking.ca. And if you want to follow my journey and get some motivation and inspiration, then you hit me up on Instagram, which is JADA, JADA_trucking_empire, or just hashtag getrichordietrucking. I'll pop up. We
All right, and
Googleable out here, man. We Googleable right now, man. We make it
I like that, and we'll definitely post those links in the YouTube comments as well. So again, Damien, I want to thank you for taking the time for joining the Vupointz panel and sharing your view on what it takes to be a real man in today's society. So thank you very much, and we hope to have you on a future episode.
Shout out to you too, though, Wiggs. Like, listen, you got to get your flowers too, man, because you've been hustling. Listen, it's been about just over 15 years. I was hearing you talk about it. It's over 15 years for sure, right? Before this is not even black S10. This is white S10. And from then, people not know what's going on, but S10 days, right? And I see in the growth, and I see what you're doing. And you've never stopped. You've never stopped, and your grind is keep going. Always been a real one. Always been supportive, and I see the hustle. I see the grind. I'm so to Jawig's Embassy. Like it's been a thing. So yeah,
respect, fam, and you've always been there supporting. So respect to you. And again, they say real recognize real. From we know together, we grow together, right? So we're good to go. Damien, respect again, and again, people. Check out JADA Inc., JADA Trucking Empire on IG, and we'll post the link on the YouTube.
Blessings, yeah.
Bless up. People, if you're just tuning in, we just had a great conversation with Damien Blackman of JADA Trucking Empire, also known as JADA Inc. JADA Inc. is a trucking company. He's also a business consultant and a young entrepreneur. He's a father of two and a strong black man that's working hard to do what he's got to do to make him and his family progressive and prosper. People, respect to the black man, respect to the man them. We're giving the man them their flowers while they are here. And without delay, people, we have another fellow that's been waiting in the green room, and I want to introduce him right now. But before I bring him on, let me just bring him on just like this. All right, people. So our next guest is known worldwide and in Canada as Prophet of the international champion sound known as Superfresh. Superfresh Prophet is not only a DJ, he's an entrepreneur, an engineer, a CEO, and he's also now dabbling into acting. I'm going to introduce Prophet right now. Prophet, welcome to the show. I think you're on mute there.
Yeah, check.
All right, audio sounds good, visuals look good, and people, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You see all those stuff you got in the background? That's not even stuff that I set up. These are the type of quality. These are the type of things that our black men are pushing out there nowadays. Prophet, welcome to the show. Can you please introduce yourself and let the people know who you are?
First and foremost, bless up yourself. Let me just make sure everything is good on my side here. Big up myself, Wiggs. Yeah, I go by the name of Prophet, the Mix Boss, aka Prophet Fresh, whatever you want to call me, Prophet Maxwell. Enough people call me Maxwell Powers, one bag of sitting. But yeah, I'm music. If I'm gonna introduce myself as something as music, most people know me as music. Anybody that's met me probably through my lifetime, it has something to do with music.
Something to do with music.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely. So, Prophet, how long have you been in the music game?
Okay, so hold on. Well, officially, probably on I started playing music like probably with my virgin in like grade 6, like DJing. So I don't know if you ever heard of a song. We started a song called Mary Jane. We were like
okay, yeah.
Right. So that sound's still around, but one of my school friends then from those times named Shane, he kept the sound going all these years, right? But that's where we originally all started from. So his dad used to bring us to like a lot of banquets to play at, right? So we're playing like chutney parties, we're playing for like hockey tournaments, so we're playing like rock and roll, we're playing soca for caravana time, reggae dances, obviously. And then we start getting into school dances. So we became like the main DJ for most of the schools in our area. So that's like 91, I'm talking like, yeah, 12, 13 years old. From them time they were like playing, you'd have to call it almost professionally, because we're actually getting paid, and his dad would give us a little money, and we're pulling down and stringing up the sound and all those things. So from way back in those times, so a good 30 mash years or something like that.
All right, so let me ask you a question. As you said, you started grade 6, and then you started actually DJing, making money at 12 and 13. At that age, like, how was it with your parents? Was it a thing where they like, what's this music thing? What's this DJing? Like, how did that affect what you're doing now? Or did they embrace that?
It was ordained to happen, because here up now, my father had a sound system, and we're from village, right? So Super K is from the same area, from Black Reaction. His father also had a sound system. So with a few like Love Child, Papa Michigan Hi-Fi. There's only a little youth, right? So all these great elders were there before, all had sound system. We grew up in the culture. So
okay,
when I had moved to Brampton and stuff like that, when we met with Shane and his father and stuff like that, all of our friends' parents knew each other. So when we were going out with Shane's dad's pops and I, white van now, we're loaded up, and there was never really no issues, and people that are great people, God bless him soul, right?
Oh, so it was kind of an advantage, because everybody's family grew up in music together. So it was like, oh, okay, where
it was natural. So when we're going, like if we went out with them, my parents would even think about it, vice versa type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was a very, even to this day, we're all still friends. Like, that's my direct core circle of friends that when we go to school from them time, they grew up 30 odd years now, we're friends. Like, to this day, right? So it was a thing that was just natural. There was no issue between no one going out and playing music. I'm just learning, like, I could even mix them time there. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, those were, like, I always give thanks to my father when it comes to that, and Shane's father, right? God bless both of their soul. They both passed on, but you know what I mean? Like, those two guys are the main influence. And I have a older brother from the 80s. The man they had just short with Shabba Sanchez. The man that could have managed Shabba Sanchez, being the man used to sleep on my couch.
Oh.
Right? So, I mean, I was always around music from I can remember. I've always had a sound system around me, and I've always been engaged with artists and stuff like that. So, Shy Star Promotion, they kept Legends the year before last, before the pandemic and stuff like that. So that's my brother's show and stuff like that. You get what I mean? So I've always been around music.
So it's just in your blood.
In my blood.
So do you have a favorite musical memory, or something about your dad, or a show that he took you to, or or anything like that?
Oddly enough, my favorite memory of my father musically was, I was young. I couldn't be more than maybe 7 years old. And I remember for a school concert, I was playing the triangle.
Some people probably don't even know what that is right now.
Right? Yeah, you're right. So I was playing the triangle. So, the ding, and then I had a solo with the triangle to go around the inner part of it, and then damn. And that was my solo. And then I had you remember moccasins?
Yeah.
The maracas.
Oh, the maracas, yeah.
Maracas. Yeah, so I was playing that and the triangle, and then I had the ending. My thing was to shake the maracas, and my dad laughed. I remember my dad standing, clapping, and laughing so hard. That's probably my favorite memory of my father, musically.
All right, so let me take it back again, because you said you were into music since grade 6, so that's before high school. So
that's when I was DJing, but I was playing instruments and stuff like that.
okay. So
Yeah.
in high school, do you have a favorite memory from high school, or what did you like to do in high school?
High school was music was everything, but basketball was my thing in high school. Like middle school, high school was basketball straight.
So you were on the ball team?
Ball team, yeah. I didn't get to go to RAFSA politics, but yeah. But ball team, I was on the school team. I was house league. Cause you know back in the day they didn't really have rep, and for the times they did, it wasn't really affordable for black families. A lot of black families couldn't pay for rep and all them something back then, right? So a lot more affordable now, and a lot more rep teams now.
Yeah,
but basketball was my thing.
That was your thing. All right. So when you were a kid, or when you were in high school, is there anything that you wish you asked your parents for, but you didn't?
No. Honestly, I now I would say no, because I understand financial literacy now. And I know now that they didn't have the tools to provide me. They didn't have the understanding coming from Jamaica and stuff like that. You get what I mean? Like, they didn't have the understanding to know exactly how finance worked. And
Yeah.
investments and being an entrepreneur and these stuff now. So I had a great, absolute awesome childhood. I loving family, both my parents together until we're maybe my early teens or some shit like, some stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what I would go back and ask for.
Yeah, no, it's a hard question, because you know what I mean. It's
maybe you know
you're
what,
looking in hindsight.
maybe my dad could have been a little bit more strict with me. My mom was
more strict.
My mom was a strict one in the family. My father never hit us, barely yelled at us. Like, we'd have to really get under his skin for him to really raise his voice to us, right? He was more lackadaisical when it came to that, but he was extremely loving. And that's how a man would love cook, bake. Christmas was his favorite time of year. Like, if you never can ask him for nothing during the year, ask him around at Christmas time, you must get it.
All right, so then let me ask you this. What's the best thing your dad ever cooked?
Oh, my father was a chef.
Oh, so he was always cooking.
He wasn't a chef.
But him could cook.
But he was a chef. Yeah, them man, they cook anything. The first thing I remember probably being around 13, and then at 13, 12 years old, and he asked me, like, what's your favorite thing to eat? And them time I'm like, yo, bully beef and rice. You know, like, that was my thing, right? Bully beef and rice. Great. So it's like, all right, come to my kitchen, and he taught me how to make it when I was 12. And I remember him saying that always learn to cook for yourself. That means you have to depend on nobody to eat.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That stuck with me. And that to me translates to different things, not just about food. It's about how you carry yourself, being able to provide for yourself, because, you know what I mean, you have to be functional.
Those are things that stuck with you, words that he gave you that stuck with you.
That thing growing up, at first I thought it was about food, you know, because craving. You know what I mean? I just figured, you know what, anything, I don't need no girl to cook for me. That's how I was preying it.
Yeah. But it was more so like, make sure you're able to do things for yourself on that tip.
Provide for yourself. You can eat for yourself. That means in a workforce, you could provide in a home, if you're in a relationship, you could provide within that relationship. You know what I mean? So that was something that always stuck with me. But his oxtail and jerk, our family's from Portland. So jerk
kind of thing.
Yeah. Mad with it. Mad.
All right, so Prophet, I know you're a father, and I always bug you on social media, because I don't anybody that has more celebrations in 1 year than Prophet. Like, I don't know if it's once a week. This guy, you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary.
My daughter's birthday was yesterday.
So Prophet, how do you manage the music life for 30 years, being so in depth with it, and family life, and celebrating it so vividly?
That's a good question, you know. Honestly, I come from a very big family. So I have a great support team when it comes to my children and stuff like that. They have great mothers. Even if we don't get along at times, I have awesome mothers for my children. You get what I mean? So I'm gonna
I
call
think
them
that's
baby
important.
mother. Don't call them baby mother or nothing like that. Especially one of my first daughter, her mom, you can't call her a baby mother. Upsets her, right? So I gotta be very careful just in case this interview gets out there. So I have an extremely great support team. Like I said, some of my friends from school, like we know all of each other's kids, and everybody's kids call us uncle or auntie, and so I mean, like it's just natural growing up in a big family. I don't know, like it's hard at times, financially. You have to be there. You have to be aware of what's going on, and something always comes up. Like I said, my mom's birthday was Sunday, my daughter's birthday was yesterday, and my next daughter's birthday is on the 25th of this month. Right, so you're right. Like,
You just gotta keep going.
My first daughter's birthday was in April. Right, I have 2 kids in November.
You see, people, I'm not lying. Yeah,
6.
And then when you throw in Mother's Day, Father's Day, a 2 holiday in there.
We're always celebrating.
Always, we love it.
Celebrating someone's birthday right now, right? So I mean, we're always celebrating.
So, Prophet, how old is your oldest child?
She is 20 years old.
20 years old. So let me ask you this, because that means you had your first child when you were deep and heavy into the music game, right? Now,
I got my first child shortly after I started playing Superfresh.
All right, so
one of the major dance were at Base nightclub, and she was born the night, and then they kicked me out the hospital, said visitation hours are over and stuff like that. So they're like, go celebrate. And we're playing with Caveman and Superfresh, Black Reaction, and Military on that dance. I remember that dance vividly, and that's first time I step out as a man. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me get
man,
drunk.
that's
yeah.
All right. So then let me ask you this. How have you changed as a dad as you got older?
Patient. If some people disagree, but I mean, I was very short fused prior to having my daughter. I was a very different person.
You're a lot more patient now.
I see life a lot differently. She literally made me stop doing a lot of stuff I was doing in my life. So that, and like I said, we're very family orientated, and I have a lot of friends that are very family orientated. Most of my friends are family men, right? So when I hear people always talking about black fathers are not good fathers, I'm not saying there obviously is. I just think there's obviously bad people that are parents, period.
Period, yeah.
Right? But I can show my circle of a lot of my friends, I don't know any dirtbag or deadbeat father in my circle. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say it, but I can't think of one of them. And I think that's probably the way we deal with each other as friends. Like, I couldn't go to one of my brethren with him knowing that I have a youth up there I'm not minding.
Yeah, and just not say nothing, or I know you mean.
Somebody's gonna check me on it. You get what I'm saying? Or like, likewise, if one of my brethren is like, has a youth out there and we know about the youth, it's like, yo, brethren, why go on? Like,
yeah, like, yo, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I hear you. I definitely hear you.
Right. So I mean, overall, like, I just think as a father, like, my children are a blessing. Don't deny them. Growing up, you meet women and stuff like that. A lot of people are probably afraid. That's the first thing I tell them. Say, yo, I'm a father, I have my kids. How many kids you have? How much of the number was at the time? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically how I handle it. And straight. If you can't dig it, then I understand. It's not for everybody. You got to keep it moving.
All right. So, Prophet, tell me name something or an experience or something that you did with your dad as a child that you do or want to continue to do with your children.
This is such a weird answer to this question. I don't believe in Christmas, but Christmas is it.
So, meaning your dad did Christmas?
He made Christmas so special that I know the whole ordeal of Christmas, but he loved that time of year. Like, Christmas was his time.
That was his time.
It's the year we will go back to Jamaica. Christmas and Easter, those two part of the time of the year, we're always in Jamaica, right? But Christmas especially, like, Christmas was his, like, you would see, I remember years with like 150, 160 gifts under the tree.
Oh, yeah.
He would go off. Like, Christmas, like, So it was always a special time of year for us family-wise. So I always try to translate that with my kids. We all know who Santa Claus is, me, or their mom, or their aunt, or their uncle, or whoever, godparent, right? But it was more like just a celebration of
The
family.
tradition, the celebration, the
Tradition,
gathering, yeah, keeping that tradition alive.
Yeah. So even though we bun it, the meaning of what they have it for with us. It sounds bad. We celebrate the same way, though.
No, but I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. You kind of do it like you said. You do it for the kids and for the family.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they know Santa's a hoax and blah 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 blah. And we just we teach them their history and where things really come from and times of years and dates of births. You know what I mean? So if you believe in that, that's your decision, your right to, right? But you don't know. We will make them know the truth, or our truth. We speak our truth to them, right?
So Prophet, how are you different from your dad, and how are you the same, or how would people say you're different and the same?
I think the family, the whole way I deal with my kids and stuff like that. When it comes to my children, we walk the same. I could tell you that much. Right? Anybody that knows about daddy, I always say, "Yo, your daddy walk exactly alike," right? Yeah, but how are we different? I don't know, man. I think I'm my father's kid. I mean, my mom would say he's mean when it comes to I used to call him Titus. You know what I mean? Like, I told you, the one time, anything you want, just ask him around Christmas time, right? But he'll always cook. If you're hungry, he'll wake up out of his bed and cook for you.
Cook.
Yeah. But I think that's I'm very kind-hearted when it comes to things. Like, my hand's very loose. I have it, I give it.
All right. Now, so another thing about your dad. What's something that your dad used to tell you growing up that turned out later to be true? Whether it could be advice, it could be a fact, it could be a story.
My dad, honestly, was a comedian. He was a joker. Me and him more joked around about stuff, and I can't really think on top of my head something like I'd say like he gave me like a life lesson. And my life lesson with my father was the way he loved us.
Those are the things you learned.
He taught me to be a father before I even thought about being a father. He taught me to love my kids. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like,
no. Well, it makes sense because even you saying that, I see that it translates, and you may not be able to explain it, but you took what you saw from him, and you kind of nurtured that and made sure that's something that you want to relate to your family and your children.
Yeah, like I think that, and like this thing with the food earlier, I didn't realize you was like, he's teaching me to be able to be self-sufficient and self-reliant and stuff like that. So I mean, those are the things I really took from him. I just see him as that man was just a loving man. There's no other way I couldn't like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no other way I can describe him. He loved music, he loved life, he loved him rum, you know what I mean? He loved his kids, and he loved his wife. Like, I think is what the thing he taught us the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? If there's one important thing to push, it's definitely love, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If your oldest child is 20, that means you've had the chance to receive a lot of Father's Day gifts. Now, people always say fathers get socks, tie, robe, if anything.
I gotta show these
what is either? I know you got a couple kids. So I don't want to say what's the best, but what is maybe the oddest Father's Day gift that you've received?
My son, I have a son turning 18 years old. Okay, he's one that you always see like playing basketball. You know OJ.
Yeah.
Okay, this kid, no matter what, Christmas, Father's Day, birthdays, always gave me an O. Henry chocolate bar.
Now, is there a reason for the O. Henry? We got to know the story.
I love O. Henry chocolate bar. So this is a cheap kid, but I always wait till last minute and go get me an O. Henry chocolate bar. I remember one year he gave me like 6 of them. I'm like,
Yo, well, you know what we gotta say. Number one, he never forgets about you. He knows what his dad likes. So you know what more can you ask for, right?
I just see him just laugh. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. Sometimes they get me colognes and stuff like that. My daughter, I remember from my last birthday, not this birthday, but past the last one, she got me a pair of earbuds, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
One of my daughters, she's sick on the art thing. She would make me paintings and stuff. I love them, and she knows I love them, so she'd make me like paintings and stuff like that. And then the little one, them just get what they can get. But yeah, it's always love. Cook for me. My daughters, they can cook. Little as they be, they love the kitchen. Right? So they'd always make me breakfast and cook dinner and like, little shrimp and this and yeah. But it's nice though.
But you know what I mean? As fathers, I know we don't really need much anyway. You know what I mean?
No. I just
any little thing we get, we're happy with.
We just like watch them and do them something.
Exactly.
Yeah, they look like little big man. Them like they're just walking around. And, yeah, I just like watching them. That's my joy, to be honest with you. So yesterday was like I say, my daughter, she just turned her sweet 16. She turned 16 yesterday.
Oh, 16, sweet 16. So what did you guys do? Did you guys do something big?
So her big sister, the oldest one, her and her boyfriend planned this whole thing, and it was our siblings thing. So none of us, we couldn't go. They went downtown to my daughter for some reason is into Korean pop. K-pop.
Yeah, yo, they you know what's crazy, Prophet? I went to one of my brethren's house like last week.
Yeah.
And his girl was asking me, what is K-pop? Because my daughter keeps asking me about K-pop.
I'm like, I DJ, I know every music. And like, okay. So my daughter started hitting me with it. I'm like, what is it? So she's like, K-pop. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I know that. Right. But she's playing me stuff. I'm like, you like Korean music? She goes, yeah, I love it. Blah, 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 blah. She watches because she watches animes and she's like into like Doc Martens, the baggy jeans and the sweater and stuff like that. The picture I posted, her mom forced her to wear that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so they celebrated yesterday and they like went downtown and she had these Korean corn dogs, stuff that she went down. She's been hearing that. They've been raving about them. Some Korean corn dog thing that's like a rave right now downtown Toronto.
Like it's like a food?
Yeah, corn dog, but it's a Korean one. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm
gonna have to research that one. I'm gonna have to research that one.
You just shell out and say, all right, go on, do your thing. So my daughters went, my son, they all went downtown and yeah, they did their thing. They came back. They're supposed to go get like sushi and stuff and all that stuff. And I just let her have their day. They said they wanted a sibling's birthday, so do your thing.
Let them have it. All right. So what would your kids say is the most embarrassing thing that you've done to them?
Post them. They hate it.
Oh, they don't like when you post them on social media?
They hate it. They didn't even let me take a picture of them no more. Dad, you're gonna post them. No, I'm not. While I'm posting, you know what I mean?
So is it because you're a DJ and like you probably have more friends than them?
Yeah, right. I can't keep up with their social media. Like, I don't even do nothing, and they have like 10,000 followers. I don't understand it. Like it cheeses me more than when I see it in my life. I'm like, yo, how do you guys get so much followers? Right? But yeah, a lot of their friends, like parents, will know who I am. Right, like, oh, my friend's dad knows you. My friend,
yeah, for sure. I don't doubt that. I believe that for sure.
You know what I mean? So they're like, stop posting me. So my sister, my daughter yesterday, she goes, Dad, you hate me. Why do you hate me? I'm like, what? I don't know. You probably see my post on Facebook yesterday about her, right? She's like, oh, those pictures, I hate those pictures you post of me and blah, blah. I'm like, yo, shut up. Yeah, so I mean, posting them is definitely the most embarrassing thing for them.
All right, so let me ask you about you, Prophet. Now, I know as a DJ, you've traveled the world, you've met artist after artist, but maybe outside of the music, is there anything or something that you've always wanted to experience that you haven't had a chance to do as yet?
Oh yeah, rich. I want to be rich. What do you mean? I want to live debt-free and not to say carefree, but I want to be able. What's the word? There's a term for this. I just want to be able to do what I want to do.
Just without worry, kind of way.
Without worries. I don't want to have to say, okay, I can't bring my kids to Disneyland because it's tight, or the money is not gonna have to save for this, or I gotta, you know what I mean? I want to be able to know, say, all right, boom. I actually had a conversation with Double Six and DZ the other day, and we're talking about winning the lottery, right? And we're like saying, like, they were saying, and I didn't really think about it until they were saying that, like, kids going to college and university, because I'm pretty into like just hustle and work and do my thing. So when it comes time for that, they have a college fund or a trust fund, whatever you want to call it,
Already set there.
already set. But then they're like, yeah, if I had the money, they'd have to go get OSAP. And I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? It makes sense, because I can say to them, graduate and I pay off your debt.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't graduate, then guess who has that debt? Now,
You got to pay off your debt.
your first life lesson of quitting. You know what I mean? Like, so like little stuff like that. But I want to be able to just pick up and go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's like, all right, you guys, everybody, all right, let's just pack your bags. We're leaving next.
Get the laptops going. We're gonna do school from France or Italy or somewhere in the world, Morocco. I don't know, wherever. That's the one thing I want to be able to be free, absolute free, to be able to just make decisions on the fly and go. I want to do this today. I need to buy that. I need to go here. I need to do that. My kids need this. Not even a hesitation. All right, boom, I'm able to do it. So that's a dream for me.
All right, so let me ask you then, because I know you're a man that works hard. You're a DJ. You're into studio work. I'm pretty sure you got a couple other hustles going on. Prophet, what makes you successful at work?
I don't think I'm successful yet. I just think I'm building. I'm in a building stage where I'm reinventing myself. COVID is a blessing and a curse. Definitely a curse. I know a lot of people lost loved ones to it, and it's a serious time. I've never thought in my life I would ever see the world shut down. But it also forced me to deep dive inside myself and ask myself, what do I need to do? Because tomorrow's not promised. I had a friend that passed 2 days ago, and
Sorry to hear
40,
that.
thank you. He's 43 years old, had a heart attack, and that's it. Like, so my fear in life is not being able to leave this realm and my family be okay. That's my ultimate fear.
So yeah, that gives you that extra.
It gives me that drive to be successful in whatever I decide to do, because I need to leave a legacy for them, something that they could look back and show my grandkids or my great grandkids. This is what your grandfather set for us. You get
All
what I
right,
mean?
so
Like, yeah.
all right, so Prophet, a couple weeks ago we did a show on baby mamas and baby daddies and erasing the stigma, right? You mentioned that you have a couple different children, and you said you have more than one like child's mother, right?
Yeah.
What advice do you have for for the younger men that might be tuning in, who might find themselves in a similar situation, who can't, who aren't able to navigate it so calmly and patiently as you?
Honestly, I was never calm and patient with it initially when it came to dealing with, like, my daughter, my oldest daughter. Me and her mother are cool now. We're mad cool. You know what I mean? We could joke around. I could contact her. She could show up at family stuff. It was never like that initially. Right. I think every scenario is different. I think they're very unique. Uh, People just react to people differently, and some people hate or have a despise to people when they separate, and it could be ugly. And you have to understand what I learned. It's always about the child. So you have to put the child first, no matter what the scenario is, whether it's good or bad. That child's well-being has to take precedence to whatever it is that you and your significant other at the time are going through. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to be mature and grow up and say, all right, we can't work, but I shouldn't badmouth, for example, the mother or the father, or I shouldn't restrict that child being in that mother or father's life, or, you know what I mean? Like, give what you have.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to give $300 a month and you can only come with $100, give the $100 and put effort into everything else, extra effort. and communicate. You know what I mean? Communication, I think, is the absolute everything. If you can't communicate with that person, doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've been through hell with some of these experiences, and you know what? At the end of the day, the children grow, and once they know their parent, they know their parent. So just, you know what I mean, find somebody compatible.
All right, Prophet.
Don't rush to have kids. Yeah.
All right, Prophet. A couple more questions before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Now, what has been your favorite age so far?
I liked Damien's answer now, but honestly, I think middle school. Middle school was my funnest time. Like with my friends and stuff like that.
With your friends, like this, that whole vibe.
It was so carefree and responsibility free, and you didn't think about sickness. You didn't really think about death. You didn't think about work. You didn't think about providing. You didn't think of, like, life was just fun.
You know, it's interesting that with all that you've seen and all the places that you've been, you took it all the way back to middle school, to those carefree days when you were just there with your friends and the natural vibes.
Where I met my life friends, and I cherish them to this day. Men and women I have as friends, like brothers and sisters. I don't mean no acquaintance. I mean brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like, I think that probably is my funnest time. But now, I mean, the understanding of life, I appreciate the people in my life now, my children and, you know, families and stuff like that. So I mean, it's hard for me. I mean, I think life in general, like my whole, I love all my life. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take away or from any of my life. I think everything has been a learning experience for me. I think I'm becoming more of a aware person now and a man now than ever before in my life. So I liked his answer, like, now, because I understand the transition he went through.
You're able to see the benefits of, or you know, everything you've done and the growth. And
so I love his answer. Like, I think now, but it's just, life seems so serious. You know what I mean? Like, I miss those carefree days.
Those carefree days.
I still feel like a kid though. Like, be real.
Because you're still having fun. You're still having fun.
Yeah, I honestly believe once you stop having fun, that's your way out the door.
Yeah, no,
Once
definitely.
you stop enjoying life, I think that's probably a calling for you, that it's time for you to go.
Well, Prophet, we know you said you started with music from since grade 6.
Yeah.
And from what I know, I can see Prophet, the mix boss, in the corner. You're wearing a shirt that says "I love Sound Clash." On the corner, I see Superfresh Sundays. I know you're a part of Superfresh Sound. I know you got the Digital Dimension Studio. I know you're an actor. You seem to be
I dabble.
still doing something that you love. Now,
I chose never to stop doing something I love, because I'm gonna figure a way to become rich doing it. And I think unless you have a way to really make money, that's effective, I truly believe that people should try and make money or a living and support their family stuff through your passion. And entertainment is, I guess, my passion. I love music. I love acting. I never really took acting itself seriously, but I feel like I always act. I think when I go behind music, like behind the turntables and I'm playing, that's not me.
Yeah, you're putting on that performance or that show.
That's it's a persona I put on, and it's a whole different person. I get into a different mind frame. I can black out things. I can black out people. Any issue that I have stands still at that moment when I'm playing. So I find that as a way of acting. It's a character that I play. Like, who I am behind a sound system is not necessarily who I am with my kids or with my girl or with my family or friends or nothing like that. Like, I'm with my brethren, them, like, even with the members of my sound, and 99% of the time we don't even talk about music.
You're just talking about life and just regular stuff.
Joking around, we're jovial and stuff like that. Like, 6 Easy, the whole of them, we're like brothers. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than a sound crew. Like, we talk about music when we're dealing with music.
Yeah.
Everything other than that is just us talking foolishness 90% of the time. We can be on the phone together for hours. Like literally, there's times like remember 6 drives, 6 is a truck drive. He'd be good to be on your show as well, you know.
Yeah. Well,
His pass to where he is now, 180.
Yeah,
right?
well, I'm gonna give him a shout out, and yeah, we'll bring him on an
Definitely.
episode for sure.
But we be on the phone literally for like
Oh yeah, because he's in the truck for hours. So
in the truck for hours driving, easy job. He drives. I'm on the road. My business, I am on the road, right? So I mean, what we have better else to do but talk to each other.
But that's good, you know what I mean? Like grown men chatting about life, you know what I mean? Progressive thoughts. That's what it's about, and this is what we want the world to know that's going on.
And
we don't want people to
them regular wigs. Them belt buckle me all the way. Regular bucklings. Yeah, I get the buckle regular still. So, and we love it. It's all love though, because a man can drop a man and say, "Yo, bro, foolish to say I keep up," or yo.
Well, yeah, I do, and yeah, you have to do them thing there.
So I appreciate those things. Like those things to me is real friendship, and I look past a sound owner or no, we don't even deal with the sound like that. No boss up thing, nothing like that. And I don't look at Easy being around. Like I've been around the sound longer than Easy, for example, or Milo's been around the sound longer than me. But in certain job roles, it's like I'll take lead.
Yeah, it's just whoever's the expertise in that certain thing will just take the front. But everybody's it's a team.
Yeah, so like Reds is there now and stuff like that, but then there's just certain things that he takes a lead in. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like there's no, yeah.
No, I get what you mean. It's
ego. Like I want to use the word ego. I think we all have egos because we all like I'm the baddest thing, you know what I mean? At the same time, I can understand if I'm not in a scenario that I'm best suited for, I can say, yo, Milo, step up, or I can say, Reg, or Easy, your time, yo, you, you this look, make your manage that crowd there.
But you know what I mean? And it goes to what the topic. It's respect to the man. Them. It's like, yo, I know I'm wicked, but I know you're wicked too. And in this situation, yo, may I have to give you your respect or your time. Go on, true.
Can I say something?
Definitely.
You see, the topic of the show is basically it has something to do with black fathers and black male entrepreneurs among them. I gotta shout out, yo, those guys on Superfresh are some of the best fathers I know. Like I said, like I have brethren that are like most of my brethren are dads and stuff like that. But yo, the man that take the family thing serious in a dog. So I get so upset when I hear, especially like when I hear black women. You know what I mean? Other races, we know we're the hated race. I don't ever hide that and talk that. I talk that publicly. Right. So I can take the bashing from others, but it irks me when I hear black women degrade black men
as a whole,
especially black fathers on a wide scale, because majority of black men I know are amazing fathers. You know what I mean? And I'm sure 100% there's dirtbag fathers out there. But you see the paintbrush something? We need to get that mentality. It's like we try to brandish all women as this, all black women as loud and arrogant and obnoxious and angry black women. No. I think that conditioning has been working on us for many, many, many years, male and female. So being beaten and taught these things are bringing out things that are not our nature. Because if you go to other parts of the planet and you see how the black man and woman function in a family, it's very different in North America.
Yeah, and honestly, just like you're saying, that's kind of the reason why we try to do shows like this and put focus where it needs to be or shine a little light on what we can do, because just like you said, I hate it when I see people generalize and say, oh, black men are this and black men don't do that. I can sit here for an hour and name fellow after fellow that I see are working progressive, are doing what they got to do, that are not fitting into that stereotype. So again, people like yourself, I have to give people their flowers while they're here, because Prophet, I see you on the road, I see you on social media, and I'm not in your daily life and I'm not in your personal life. I can only comment on what I see. And just like how you have to give respect to your fellows on Superfresh, I got to give you the respect.
And you as well, we buck up on a lot of family affairs, we share mutual family, right? So My kids, what I call it, my kid's auntie is your cousin.
Is my aunt.
Oh, your aunt as well.
Yeah.
So big up Marcia Booty.
Yeah, Marcia Booty. Big up. She had a common link.
So
But just like Prophet said.
well, so we have to give you your ratings and your respect same way. And I love the program, the fact that you're highlighting black business. That's one of the reasons why we start ILSC, you know, because one of the programs is supposed to be basically what you're doing now, right? You know, interviewing black-owned businesses and stuff like that, entrepreneurs and people of influence, and just not even necessarily entrepreneurs, but just like great influences in our community and stuff like that as well. So big up yourself, Car. We need more of these type of programs. And I wish these are the programs that had 600 and 1,000 people that just as it go live, boom. But
everybody just pop.
It's drama sells, sex sells, drama sells, and violence sells, and the negative. You know what I mean? So the positive, we have to work more hard now. We have to work.
Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? We could have went the raunchy route for the show as well, but you said, you know what? Let's take our time and build it the way we want to build it, because you know the knowledge is there for the people. So
right. So
again, respect to you for taking the time.
But yeah, I try to wear as many hats as possible, because I feel like multiple revenue streams is probably the way to generate wealth the easiest. Something has to work at this point of my life. Something has to work, you know what I mean? So I tried a lot of other things, and I try to just do some stuff that I just like doing. Like I like acting. I don't have I don't have an ambition to be an actor, to go on a big screen, but you never know. What if somebody sees the Art of Badness, and then whatever, you know, that guy would be the token Jamaican guy.
Yeah, like, yo, that would work. You know, where's that guy in Canada? Yo, let's give him a call, you know?
Hey, guess what? No, that can lead to another road that can lead to an income that can help my family.
Yo, and it happens just that easy, Prophet. You know it. You know it. Like it's different than 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So I do it mainly because I actually like doing it. Like drama class in high school, I took it all the way through. Like it was one of my favorite classes to take. I just like acting like an idiot. I like being somebody else. I like being able to make people laugh. I like to put on different accents, or try anyways. I like, you know what I mean? Like I like to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
So it was a fun thing we put out. We actually started that Maxwell Powers character. I started that in high school.
Oh, that from back then?
That character,
Maxwell Powers, like the name and everything?
That character is coming from high school. So me and my brother's a year and a half older than me, but we had the same senior drama class. So he was like fresh from Jamaica at the time, and we were just joking around, and we were able to create. We had a project to create a character, so it was like a bad man from Yard versus a bad man in Foreign type of thing. That wasn't really. It was like a local rich kid that wanted to be a bad man, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of the character already made, and then my brethren, he owns Die Fire Films. He's a director. He's done countless works with Tory Lanez, you name it. Press everybody in the industry he's worked with. Anytime you see like Dr. J's fat clips and all that stuff like that.
Oh, he's the one that's doing all those videos. Yeah, the quality on the Art of Badness stuff is crazy, so man.
You see like his influences even when you see our lives and stuff like that. So he's the one that kind of showing us angles and graphics, make things pop and keep people's attention and stuff like that, right? So he had the idea like, yo, let's do this. So we started this show almost 10 years, probably more than 10 years ago, but we shelved it.
Oh, you guys had the idea from then.
We shot the first episode, 2 episodes we shot 10 years ago. You're gonna see that, because we're gonna use some flashback. We have a whole bunch of crazy ideas this guy has. Like his mind works different, right? So you're gonna see some of that old footage come back as a flashback, and
people are probably gonna be like, "What?" We're gonna be like, "Yo, wait a minute!" Like
dreads,
yeah,
dreads those times, right? So I mean, yeah. So I had that character from I was in high school.
That's crazy.
But he put the twist on it, like have the rich kid type of thing and the rich father, and he put that stuff like that. But that actual voice before Teddy Bruckshot.
Yeah, because a lot of people were comparing the character to Teddy Bruckshot. But if you were nurturing that from since then what can we say, right?
From like, I remember somebody on social media said it. Yo, I remember you doing that in high school. I'm like, holy crow, you know what I mean? So I had that character from. And then what we do is that we just spoof a lot of stuff. Like we'll take from a lot of different little movie clips just to make it funny and make fun of it type of thing, right? So, yeah, I mean, if it works, you know, we have 2 scenes. We have Ask a Bad Man. You know what I mean? So it's like a little questionnaire thing. Like You know, I mean, it's funny. Like, I mean, I like making people laugh. I think making fun of a lot of these guys' stuff that they're doing instead of glorifying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing certain things. Like, why would you do that? It's stupid.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching those videos, yo, I was dying, like tears coming out of my eye. People, you gotta check that out. We'll post the links in the comments as
Yeah,
well.
man. Those times, I don't even know how some scenes we even shoot some of those scenes. Like, we're just like the director, he's like cracking up. It's like he's like, yo, bro, if you're laughing, how am I gonna do this type of thing? So it's honestly, it's like a bucket list type of thing. Like, it's just fun. I really love acting. I wish I took it more. One thing, I wish I took acting seriously.
Oh yeah, eh?
Yeah, I wish I really have taken it when I was younger seriously and got into acting. I really like acting. Yeah.
Well, Prophet, I wanna thank you for taking the time to join us on the show. I want to thank you for sharing some of your personal stories with the viewers. Can you let the viewers know what Prophet has coming up next, and where they can find you on social media?
So, I was never really a big social media fan. I really don't like it, to be honest with you. I think it's very destructive, and I think it can be very productive as well. But the line of work we're in, it's very easy to get drawn out into debates and discussions, and you as a sound man know exactly what I'm talking.
Yes.
You see the ugly side of it, and I really fear that side of the industry. I don't like it, right? So I try to stay. When I'm typing on it, it has to be something with our culture, with our blackness, with our family orientated, or just music.
Keep it positive, yeah.
Before the pandemic, I never really used to do online shows. So the pandemic started, I was like, okay, I got to do something. And then I figured it'd be a time now that I could reinvent myself as a DJ, because a lot of people in the industry know me, but they don't understand, because the impact I have with Superfresh is so powerful. They brand me as
what did they say? They say it typecast you in one way.
Typecast me. They pigeonholed me into this sound system world of just dubs and sound clash. And so I sat back and I heard, starting from scratch, my good friend Mr. Scratch said something in an interview with somebody, that he took the time, even the pandemic, to do. He would say, say, use me for example. He's like, why would I go to listen to Superfresh play reggae and dubs when I know Superfresh can play reggae and dubs? Like, take that time to exercise your house music, your trap music, your disco, your soul, your play outside of the box, because now is the time where the world can listen to you. Like, you can get people anywhere now. You can be booked from anywhere. You never know if you can have 10 people right now on your life, and that one person of the 10 is a big promoter in Austria or Germany or wherever.
And they're like, oh, he's playing house music,
Right. I thought this guy only plays reggae, but you're playing soca. Like, I've done soca shows. I've done hip-hop shows. I play reggae as little as possible, and it started paying off, because now I have another side of the industry actually have a microscope on me right now. The other day I did a boat cruise with a yacht. They said you can't call it a boat, you have to call it a yacht. Same thing to us, right? I did one of those boat parties with Junior Jones on it, Wayne Warner, Wayne Greenaway. It was his birthday and stuff like that, and I was playing on it, and it just opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. I'm playing so much different music now. It's like natural, and I found back the love of playing music, like when I was younger. That love.
Yeah.
When I used to go to parties with Shane and his dad and these guys who used to.
You're starting to feel that love, that energy again.
We're playing house music, so now I get to play everything. I get to just open my mind up, turn on my laptop, and look. Okay, what is in there for me to play? And I get to play everything now. So I mean, I take the time and reinvent yourself musically. It was probably the best thing I've ever done. Right now, like the show. So I have the Soul Fresh Sundays, and we're on Twitch, Superfresh Sound on Twitch. I have Gas Mask Fridays. We're gonna start a weekly show. I have my engineer, that's my producer of my show. She's sitting here watching me chewing on something. Right? So I always have to be brand aware.
Brand aware, yeah, exactly.
You gotta be brand aware.
Brand conscious, they say, yeah.
Brand conscious, right? So I mean, I have a lot of help, so it's never just me. Like, I have a good team. I have a very good support team. So yeah, find me on the mix. Was it Profit _ the mix boss on IG. I'm always posting what I'm be doing, whether it's a little acting thing here or playing on a boat or playing on Twitch or doing an interview like this. Like, yo, I'm easy to find.
All right. Well, Prophet, again, thank you for taking the time for joining the Viewpoints panel. Do you have any last words for the viewers or any of the young fathers that might be watching the show today?
Fathers, young fathers, just love your family. You know what I mean? Think positive and project positive energy. Teach your kids about financial literacy. Teach them to invest. Hey, honestly, I've never seen so many young people talk about, especially black kids, because that's my focus, unapologetic. But my daughters, I see kids online. I see little 15-year-olds. I see 18-year-olds, 24-year-olds talking about investing. Stock.
Yeah. You're getting
Bitcoin.
into that from younger.
I love it. So nurture it. Like, if you don't even know about, if you have kids that are preteens or young adults, nurture that. If you hear them have a slight, if they even ask a question, what are Bitcoin? And you don't know, research it. You know, push them to research it. Because that's the way that we will change our social situation and the legacy build and to build wealth. You know what I mean? So if I was investing when I was 16, 17, this would be a very different conversation, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one thing I can definitely agree with you, because I have some of my nieces and nephews as well. Yeah. They're more into trading and investments than I even know about.
Yeah, and they're young. So I hope in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to see a lot more black millionaires. Money is not everything, but it facilitates life.
Well, exactly. So we just got to push the generation and push the youths. And, you know, with thanks to, you know, gentlemen like yourself and great fathers like yourself, I think we're on a good path. So again, Amen. Thank you for everything you're doing for your kids, for your family, and for the people that are watching on social media, because people might not say things, but believe me, people see it, and there's a lot of people that use that as motivation to help them in their lives as well. So thank you as well, Prophet.
Thank you, King. Give thanks, yeah?
All right, blessings.
Bless up.
People, if you're just tuning in, we just had a great in-depth conversation with Superfresh Prophet, also known as Maxwell Powers. He's been in this music industry for over 25 years, and he's just give us some great stories on how he's been able to balance his music life, his family life, how he's been able to make time for himself, and some of the things that have helped him motivate and progress to go further. One of the things that I've noticed that one of the things that stood out in one of the last couple of things that he said was in this pandemic time, he sat down and had an in-depth talk with himself and tried to decide, how am I going to reinvent myself? Because there's times when we may go through rough times and we may go through periods where we don't know what to do. But it's never good to just sit and ponder and reflect on the bad things. Prophet took the time, he sat down and he reflected and said, how can I move forward? How can I better my life? How can I make this change in this worldly situation benefit me? He took that time, he created an online platform, even though that wasn't his preference. He created a couple different shows, and he started creating a new network for himself by expanding the music that he was playing. He took himself out of the box that he was in, and he was able to increase his network, and now he has thousands and hundreds of viewers watching him that weren't watching him before, right? So these are the things that we need to do as men. We need to, you know, figure out what's best for ourselves, figure out what's best for our family, and move forward. When we were speaking with Damien earlier, he let us know how he went from a path from the streets, he got incarcerated, and when he was sitting incarcerated, he thought about his family, thought about his life, thought about his kids, and decided that the minute he was coming out, he was going to make those steps to make his life better, right? Everybody's path is different, but what you got to do is you got to reflect, you got to think about what's good for yourself, what's good for your family, and you got to make those moves. As men, we have it rough, and as black men, there's a stigma out there that we're not good, that we're lazy, that, you know, that we're no good. But we're out here erasing that stigma. We as black men, as black fathers, we got to do our best to let the people them know that we're here for our kids, we're here for our family, and we're here doing what we got to do to survive. People, today's episode, big up the man them, respect to the man them. It's Father's Day week. My name is Ja Wiggs. Like I said, we got to give the people the flowers while they're here, right? I want to shout out my co-hosts that are not here today. They had to take care of some other priorities. Jada Man, Brooklyn Honey, big up yourself. People, this is the Vupointz. Do remember to like and subscribe on all networks. And we'll be back next week. My name is Ja Wiggs again. Check out the replay on YouTube. It's the Vupointz. Oh, by the way, people, we got another Father's Day stream this Sunday. A tribute to Dad. Check out Ja Wiggs' profile and look out for the ads. It's the Vupointz.